What is going on, Sneaky Nation? Sneaky P here with my preview of the Week 2 game for the San Francisco 49ers as they take on the Cincinnati Bengals. This is something I might start doing before the games. I did a recap last week, and, I had some people say maybe do a preview as well, so we'll give it a shot and see what you guys think. If you guys watched my prediction video, I did predict the Bengals would get this game. So in this video, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail as to why I think that is going to happen. But what I will say right out of the gate is I think this is a game the 49ers can win. Last week I looked at the Bucs game and I said, this is a game the 49ers should win. But I was hesitant to pick them to win because until they prove that they can win those kind of games, it's tough to have faith in a team that has long been inconsistent. So I kind of feel the same way about this game. I feel like this is a game maybe the 49ers should win, but unlike last week, I don't think they're going to get it this time. And there's a few reasons for that. One, the 49ers really didn't look that good last week. It wasn't an inspiring win by any means. A win's a win. I'm going to take it, but I didn't look at that 49ers team and get a whole bunch of confidence in their play moving forward. Now, their defense did look very good. That's something to be pretty happy about. It was against Jameis Winston, but, Winston had a lot of weapons, and the 49ers did a pretty great job at neutralizing them. So that's great to see. The 49ers offense, on the other hand, really did not look very good at all. The Bucs completely shut down the run game. They were struggling moving the ball through the pass game. They did have a few touchdowns called back, but for the most part, the offense really did not give me a lot of faith in them, honestly. But you look at that, and then you look at what happened on Thursday, and the Buccaneers completely shut down the Panthers' offense as well. So this could just very well be a very good Buccaneers defense this season. I mean, Vita Vea had an incredible game against the 49ers, and they shut down the Panthers too. Now, Cam Newton, I don't think he's healthy, so shutting down Cam Newton's not that impressive. However, shutting down Christian McCaffrey, who could not do anything against the Bucs defense, really kind of says something, and especially when you look at the 49ers week 1 performance and the fact that they could not move the ball on the ground. That's such a huge part of their offense, and when you take that away, the 49ers are going to struggle a little bit more. So I think that might be a good sign that maybe week 1 wasn't necessarily a sign of things to come with their run offense. It was more so the Tampa Bay defense just being prepared and being very good. The problem I have right now is the Bengals defense kind of has a few similar strengths. Maybe not at linebacker, but, the Bengals defensive line is pretty good. One of the reasons the 49ers were struggling to run is a guy named Vita Vea. And he is a big guy in the middle. And the Bengals have something similar in Gerald McCoy, my goodness, I'm thinking the Panthers and Buccaneers again. And Geno Atkins, right? So I kind of worry if he's going to be a complete game changer by disrupting that offensive line and making it difficult for the 49ers to move the ball on the ground. Now, you can look maybe a few outside runs, but the Bengals have some guys there too. I mean, they did a great job in week 1 against the Seahawks. They shut down the Seahawks run game, which isn't like one of the better run offenses in the NFL. But they also got a lot of sacks on Russell Wilson. And the Seahawks haven't had a good offensive line in quite a while. It's a little bit better than it used to be, but it's still not very good. But even getting pressure on Russell Wilson has been easy in the past, but actually getting sacks on him has been very difficult. And the fact that the Bengals were able to do that consistently, this defense can get after it a little bit. They also have some good players in the secondary. So I look at this and I worry that the 49ers might have some of the same issues that they had against the Buccaneers as far as running the ball goes. Whereas, I think the Bengals have a pretty good secondary, probably better than the Buccaneers maybe. It's going to be interesting to see how the 49ers offense moves the ball. But saying all that, I do have a lot of faith in Kyle Shanahan. I think he's going to find a way to put players in good position. But you can put players in good positions, but you can't make the plays for them. And in week 1, you didn't really see the receivers make any kind of plays at all. We had multiple drops. We had fumbles. Anytime any kind of big play happened, it was called back. So, the 49ers are going to have to get their act together. And if they can get their act together for this game, I think they have a real shot at it. But they've got to prove that they can do it first. On the other side of the ball, talking about the Bengals, I mean, again, they looked pretty good in week 1, I would say. As 49er fans, we know winning in Seattle is not an easy thing to do. This is a different Seahawks team, I get that, but the Bengals looked really good. I mean, they bring in Zach Taylor to rejuvenate their offense, and the very first game with Zach Taylor, Andy Dalton threw for a career high in passing yards. Now, I've defended Andy Dalton a lot. Not that I think he's a great quarterback, I don't. But I don't think he's near as bad as everybody else wants to make it seem that he is. And for him to have such a great game without A.J. Green in Seattle with a brand new head coach, I think that could be scary moving forward. I mean, maybe Zach Taylor's really going to bring out the best in Andy Dalton here. And it's going to be interesting to kind of keep an eye on how they do this season. But, you know, they are going to be without A.J. Green this game. They still have Tyler Boyd. John Ross had an amazing week one. I'm a little concerned about that, but, you know, kind of like the 49ers. Until John Ross proves that he can have games like that consistently, I'm not super worried about it. He could prove me wrong and go off for another 150-yard game or whatever it was. But I think the 49ers are going to be a little bit more prepared for that now that they have some film on that happening. So I'm hoping the 49ers defense can prepare and kind of maybe take the Bengals off guard a little bit. You know, one disadvantage the Seahawks had in this is they didn't really have a game of Zach Taylor with this Bengals offense. And now the 49ers don't have a lot of tape, but they at least have more tape than the Seahawks had going into it. They did a lot of things that were very successful against the Seahawks, and I'm sure the 49ers are going to do their best to take that away. But yeah, no A.J. Green in this one. Joe Mixon, he's questionable for the game. It sounds like he is going to play. The Bengals' run offense really struggled against the Seahawks, and that's something I think the 49ers might be able to, you know, duplicate a little bit. I trust the 49ers' run defense. They really didn't look good in week one against the Buccaneers, but I think that's more of a fluke game than I think it's probably going to be the trend this season. I expect the 49ers to be pretty good in run defense. Having Quan Alexander there is absolutely going to help as well. So I think the 49ers should do a pretty good job of neutralizing the Bengals' run game. At that point, it's just giving it to Andy Dalton and hoping you can get a pass rush going and make some plays in the secondary. So I think this is a game the 49ers can win. I think the Bengals are better than the Buccaneers, though, and I think they're going to be a little bit more motivated for this game. Not that the Buccaneers weren't motivated or anything like that, but, you know, when you're going into a home game, you're 0-1 to start the season, you don't want to go down 0-2, and I do think that plays a little bit of a factor. So, I don't know, man. I think the 49ers could win this game, but I really think the Bengals, you know, just having more veteran players that have been consistently better for a longer time than the 49ers' good players have been, I think the Bengals might actually get the win here. I would love to be wrong in this. I think the 49ers offense is really going to need to try to establish the run early, which in turn is going to open things up for Jimmy Garoppolo. But if the Bengals can shut down the 49ers run game like the Buccaneers did, I don't think the 49ers can count on Andy Dalton throwing 3 interceptions, 2 of which are going to be pick sixes. That's really what saved the 49ers in week one. And, you know, I don't think Andy Dalton's going to make those same mistakes as frequently as we saw Jameis Winston make them. So it's going to be an interesting game. I definitely could see this one going either way. I don't know that I have enough faith in the 49ers winning this week. I would love to be proven wrong. I think it's a game they can win. I think it's a game maybe they should win if you're solely looking at it from a talent perspective. But I think the Bengals' home field advantage is going to make a little bit of a difference. If this were in San Francisco, I would say 49ers for. But with it being in Cincinnati, I think the Bengals are probably going to get this one. But I would love to know your guys' opinion on everything, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking for this game. Who do you think is going to have a good game? Who do you think is going to struggle? What are the key points you guys are really looking forward to in this one? It should be a good one. I'm excited. I think the 49ers made a great decision staying on the East Coast. I've talked about it before. You know, those West Coast teams often struggle on the East Coast time zone. And last week, the 49ers decided to stay on the East Coast instead of going back to San Francisco. And I think that's definitely going to help them in this game. So now it's just time to see if they can step up. I mean, this could be a big win for the 49ers, and they really need a win here because after this, their schedule gets pretty difficult for a little while. I know, you know, they have the Steelers, which I don't think they're as bad as they looked in week one. They have the Browns coming up. I don't think they're as bad as they looked in week one. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team does. If they can come back to San Francisco with a 2-0 record, I think that's going to be huge for their season. Whereas if they come back 1-1, they could easily fall in a hole with some of these teams coming up. So this is a big game for the 49ers. Hopefully they can step up and make some plays happen. Let me know what you guys are thinking on the game, and I'll catch you later. Peace.